Hey everyone, welcome back to Direct Focus. We're moving right along through the directorial career of the amazing Steven Spielberg. On this episode, we'll be visiting one of Spielberg's more controversial, though not in content, movies that really deserves a revisit. We're going to be watching the Kubrick started and Spielberg finished AI, Artificial Intelligence.
When's your birthday? I never had a birthday.
His name is David.
I feel it. That's creepy. Whoa, feels so real.
In a distant future, in an age of intelligent machines, he is the first robotic child programmed to love and coexist as a member of a family. His is a tale of humanity and a journey to find his place among humans and machines.
I'm a boy.
You are a real boy. At least as real as I've ever made one.
Intelligence. This movie is a strange one for Direct Focus. AI originally had nothing to do with Steven Spielberg at all. Kubrick obtained the cinematic rights to the 1969 short story called Super Toys Last All Summer Long by Brian Aldiss. He sat on the story for over 2 decades. He didn't have faith that a child actor could properly portray the main character David. Inspirations for the story were also taken from a Yeats poem titled The Stolen Child and a Philip K. Dick short story called The Second Variety. When it looked like computer graphics were finally catching up to Kubrick's imagination, he hired a team of writers to crack the cinematic version of the story. These writers included Aldiss and Ian Watson, among others. Impressed with the work of Spielberg, as the whole world was by this point, Kubrick tried to pass along the director his job in 1995. Spielberg resisted the job, but helped his colleague with the movie for years before his death in 1999. After Kubrick's passing, Spielberg took on the challenge of finishing this multi-decade-long project. There was a lot of rumors and misinformation surrounding this movie because of the death of the film icon and another one stepping in. To those on the fringe, it looked like Spielberg took an abandoned project and put his own ideals and sensibilities into it. Critics and audiences alike accused Spielberg of adding too many sweet moments to a darker script. They also accused Spielberg of not ending the movie properly and following his alien obsession by cramming some into the movie after what, they assumed, was the natural ending. Spielberg had to deal with these criticisms for far too long. It eventually came out that not only did Kubrick come up with the softer moments of the movie, but that Spielberg was the one to darken up the scarier sequences like the flesh fair. Spielberg's information was backed up by Ian Watson, who Kubrick hired. Not only was Spielberg around when Watson and Kubrick were working on the screenplay together, but he made sure to stick to Kubrick's original vision and Watson's screenplay as closely as he could during production. Despite all the waiting for the CGI to catch up, and the faith in Spielberg for his groundbreaking effects with Jurassic Park, the character David was ultimately cast, not animated. Haley Joel Osment took the world by storm with his breakout role in The Sixth Sense. Osment was a natural child actor with skill way beyond his years. It was actually Osment's idea that any actor portraying an android would not blink to give them a slightly off feeling. Osment's David goes through a lot in his adventure. His adopted family is made up of talented actors as well: Francis O'Connor, Sam Roberts, and Jake Thomas. Jude Law, William Hurt, Ken Leung, Clark Gregg, Kevin Sussman, and even Eugene Osment, Haley's real-life father, lend their talents, not to mention the genius of Robin Williams. Williams, a good friend and longtime collaborator with Spielberg, was actually hired by Kubrick. Williams has recorded all of his lines before Spielberg was ever attached to the project. Not only is this little Easter egg interesting, but to go one step further, not long after Williams recorded his lines, he played an android that wanted to become human in 1999's Bicentennial Man. After 30 years of on and off development and many hands on the project, it went into production in 2000. Spielberg worked within a budget of $100 million. The whole spectacular movie was shot in only 67 days. It opened low, at a mere $29 million. It would ultimately go on to gross $235 million worldwide, making it a success, and it was nominated for 2 Oscars. The reception of the movie was a bit shaky. Partly for the reasons we talked about with the misinformation we discussed earlier, even Rotten Tomatoes, which is heralded as one of the leading critic websites, said that it was a mix of Kubrick's bleakness and Spielberg's optimism. We know this isn't true. Critical and audience responses overall were positive, but not resoundingly so. The movie does feel long at 146 minutes. David goes on an adventure that can feel meandering at times, and a couple of the plot turns are jarring. Going back into the movie after being away from the rumors surrounding it gave me a much better sense of the finished project. AI was received better in foreign countries. Watson speculates that poetic and intellectual aspects of the story may be off-putting for American audiences at the time, who focus largely on spectacle. The spectacle is something that almost everyone agreed on. The visual and special effects in the movie are stunning. They hold up to this day. Not only is he a pioneer in effects, but he knows how to juggle practical and digital for a timeless experience. AI is an underrated movie that should be revisited, especially as technology in AI and robotics has grown by leaps and bounds since its release in 2001. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. We're working on new segments. Also remember to listen to SoWizard Podcast every single week wherever you get your podcasts. Check out SoWizardPodcast.com for reviews, recommendations, merchandise, and more. Also, check out SoWizard on Patreon, where you can support the show monetarily for bonus content. We love hearing feedback, so leave something in the comments or drop us a line on social media. All of our accounts can be found after the video.